Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jack, and today we'll be doing something different. That's right. I'm going to be showing you guys something other than me being terrible at video games. No, today I'm going to be talking about something I'm extremely passionate about. What's this magical thing I'm talking about? Well, Webtoons, of course. What's Webtoons? You may be asking. Get ready for me to sound like an ad, because I must if I want to explain this stuff to you. So, Webtoon is an app and a browser page for anyone that wants to view web comics. Comics are something I love. Just like any other comics, but on the internet. There is nothing new about that. But what's so special about Webtoons is that they have two separate type of comics. They have originals and canvas. Originals are the main spotlight, which we will be talking about in this video today, which consists of paid creators through ad revenue and, all that jazz for prime time webcomics of great quality and story. The things we love. Canvas, on the other side, is a platform for up and coming creators who want to share their content to the public. It's completely free and allows for a gateway to a new audience for said new creators. The overseers of Webtoons also pick series from Canvas to become an original, which is pretty rad. Now, that is out of the way, let's continue. So, some things to note actually before I get straight into this. This shall be a tier list of all the Webtoons that I have, which are the originals. So, any original Webtoons that I currently read. A few have been completely finished, and others are still ongoing. I'll be reviewing them regardless of how many episodes have been released. Before placing a series into a rank, I'll give you dudes a brief description of what the story is, delve into it a bit, and finally give a final verdict. Big warning, by the way, I will have spoilers for some of these webtoons I'm going to be talking about. You have been warned. We good? You sure? Positively? Absolutely? Cool. So, I've attempted to gather all the pictures of the 71 original webtoons I read. Sadly, I could only get 66 of them. We'll just have to work with these for now. Finding the images was harder than I thought, but whatever. Let's get on with it. First up to bat is Bloodless Wars. With 70 episodes to date and a rating of 9.25 out of 10, Bloodless Wars revolves around the concept that war itself has been transferred to the digital age. This is going to be hard to explain, but essentially, the battlefield is now in virtual reality, and if a soldier dies, he can't log back in. It's essentially a video game, but with real-life consequences. The weapons, transportation, and anything that is used in the VR war is paid with real money from the government. Any disagreements or wars are fought on this platform, which is used globally instead of actually killing people in real life. Now, take all I've said and apply it to every nation in the world and every political problem, and put yourself in the shoes of an elite sniper named Nick. There's not much I can say about the story without giving spoilers, and I'd rather you just read the story yourselves. Get used to me saying that because I'm going to be saying it a lot. Overall, the concept is unique, and it's the first time I've actually heard of this specifically, and the art is pretty clean. I stick around more for the story and the characters personally, but with all that out of the way, I'm putting this straight into B tier, mostly because it's not really engaging for me. I'm sure that will change as the story goes on, but for now, it's just very intriguing to me. If any of you have ever seen the Bite Cuck meme, this is where it's from. The artist Shen is one of my favorite out there for comedy specifically, and is an awesome dude all around. Though I've never met him, I think his comics pretty much reflect who he is as a guy. Seems like the dude I would want to hang out with. As for the comic itself, it's great. Some are relatable, some are just fun episodes, starting all the way back in 2014. It reminds me a lot, strangely, of like Calvin and Hobbes or the Peanuts, just with much more cartoonish shenanigans. Overall, A tier. A tier, straight A tier in my heart. Great. Yeah, I'm biased for Bluechair. It's cool. is one of those stories where you're really not sure who to root for or against. Sure, there are some dudes who are real pieces of shit, but everyone is complicated, just like real life. Those are the stories I really enjoy. The morally gray side of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. This webcomic has that tenfold. The author slash artist, JH, has a great idea of pacing and how to introduce new characters, tell their stories, and somehow still keep the story flowing like a river. It's honestly amazing. But get this, 60 episodes into the story, and we still haven't been formally met with the main hero. The authors teased about it many, many times, but we're not gonna get it anytime soon. Now, I'm getting my head of myself here, just nerding out. But God, this is being the third one in this list. I need to get my stuff together. Anyways, overall, the Boxer is wonderful with art and story. It has many different characters, side characters and main characters, setting around the sport of boxing, of course. The main protagonist of a majority of the story is a very cold and uncaring guy, simply named You. Can't say more without spoiling, but take this to note and to heart. Characters take a front row seat, and I enjoy it so much that it is straight up to A tier. Okay, going down this alphabetical list is Boyfriend of the Dead. Finally, an easy one to explain. Thank you, God. Okay, so Boyfriend of the Dead is about a sentient zombie dude named N and a pretty young woman named Alex. N wants to eat Alex. Yes, you heard me right. He wants to eat her. And Alex is just trying to survive. N, being a sentient being, decides to befriend Alex to get closer to her and eventually eat her. It's funny, it's weird, and it gets strangely emotional for what it's about, at least in later chapters. It has 294 episodes to date and is great. It has a great supporting cast, overall amazing. The characters are very quirky, and the story gets a little more complicated than just survive or eat my girlfriend. Trust me. I'm having trouble deciding whether this should be A or B, but I'm gonna be safe here and put it in B for boyfriend and best boy. Why not? Okay. Carl. So this one is something for me. It's not the best story-wise, character-wise, or anything for that matter. It just struck a chord with me. I enjoy it. And the ending. Specifically the ending. Then I cried. I don't usually cry, but man, that made me cry. Like a little baby. What's it about, you ask? Oh yeah, I forgot about that in the tears. It's about a robot psychiatrist that becomes sentient. Quote, he starts longing to be human, but his creator and father figure, Dr. Adila, I think I said that right, prevents him from showing his feelings out of fear of losing him. End quote. Overall, it's very lighthearted and comedic. Then, it whacks you over the head with a bat and makes you cry when you least expect it. But not in a sad way. In like a bitter, sweet way. Like lemons. God was giving me lemons. God, that was one of my favorite endings to a series. Overall, it has 95 episodes and is A tier. Read it to find out why. Now let me fish out some tissues. CinnamonRoll is about a guy who's awesome in every aspect that loves a girl. Original, right? Girl is a tsundere, aka plain hard to get, and that's about it. It's been selected from Canvas recently and only has 28 episodes. It doesn't look like it's going to be anything new or particularly exciting, but hey, that could change. So far, generic wholesome romance, aka generic and C tier. Pretty sure that was the quickest one so far. Code Adam. Introducing a show that's mostly held up by the protagonist alone, Atlas, pun intended. With 61 episodes, Code Adam is about Atlas, one of the originals, a title given to T1s that are biologically made weapons to finish a war. T2s were made shortly after, given the purpose of being weapons that would end the war. At the start of Code Atom, the war is over, and the super soldiers now hold no purpose in the world. So what do? The story's cool, and Atlas, unironically, holds up the whole show. He's awesome, he's very intriguing, and he adds so much to the story. My only problem with it is the pacing. That's the only thing. It feels like the comic is running so fast. Not fast enough to be lost, but fast enough to jump from plot point to plot point to plot point without using any time to grow the world or the characters that we are experiencing. Plenty of time is given to Atlas, mind you, but most of the other characters feel untouched in a sense. Like, we get good information about them, enough to make a silhouette of the character and general idea of what they are, but more could be said, in my opinion. Having said that, this is B tier content. I wanted to put it into A tier, but the nitpicks above forced my hand to B tier. Speaking of Atlas and Greek mythology, religion is always interesting in fiction. Covent is based around exorcists going around kicking demons and taking names, like Supernatural, but in one location and with bigger weapons, like magic and assault rifles. Anyways, the story's about Urza, a cool exorcist that is told by Angel Gabriel, my favorite, to seek the fallen that never fell, and to protect a seemingly normal dude called Sunny. War is on the frontier, and demons are coming in masses. Overall, great story. I can't say too much about it, only has 27 episodes, but I can tell you this one is going to go a long way. At least I hope so. But for now, I will be putting it into B tier. Note the "for now" part. The art is amazing, but the story has just started, so can't fully judge it yet. Now, you may be asking, Jack, why are you reading a comic by the name of Cursed Princess Club? Well, you see, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, I'm an adult, and I can do whatever I want. If I want to read about a dude that gets reincarnated as a slime, I will. If I want to watch a horrible movie that will make my eyes bleed out, I will. And if I want to watch a comic about cursed princesses, then I will, god damn it. So, anyways, Cursed Princess is about comedy about Gwen, the youngest daughter of an overprotective dad. Shenanigans happen, she meets the Cursed Princess Club. The story has a ton of stuff, too many things for me to go over in a briefing, and is overall just pretty funny, charming, and actually has some emotional punch to it, to a certain extent at least. While the art is decent, nice, I feel the characters make up the mass majority of the show. Like, if Atlas was holding up the whole show, this one, all the characters, man, all of them share a good piece of that large pie. I read this comic on a literal coin flip, and I don't regret it. It's really hard to place from what's so good about it, but I'm confident enough to put it into A tier status. Maybe I'm just insane. But we're gonna go with the meantime that the voices are wrong, and this is 101 episodes, and it's awesome. Check it out. It's weird, a good kind of weird, my kind of weird. Let's see. Oh yeah, Darbi. So this one is whack, really whack, weird, cool, whack. It's about dinosaurs. What dinosaurs, you may be asking? All the dinosaurs. A guy named Darbi. He's a predator, and I can't really go further into it, so I'm just gonna, quote something here. Quote, "The misadventures of a bloodthirsty baby T-Rex." End quote. There. That's it. Read it. Only if you're mature enough, though. It's gory. It's got cursing, and it's pretty cool. Anyway, B tier. Days of Hana is about a world of werewolves and humans. Not really significant, yes, I know. But werewolves may be intelligent as humans, but not in this world. No. They are rated as second-class citizens. Instead, they're looked upon as pets by humans. Hana and Haru are the two main character leads, male and female lead, and are in love with each other. Basically, This story is Romeo and Juliet, except it gets, like, pretty dark. Overall, awesome story. It has 113 episodes and is awesome. Did I mention that it was awesome? Did I mention any of these stories were awesome? Maybe once, twice, 3 times? Bittersweet ending, B tier. Moving on. So, I want you guys to imagine. That's right, imagine. You commit suicide. Don't leave! Stay with me here. Then you meet death itself, who happens to be a hot woman, and she says, "That's not how you play the game." So she sends you back to live 13 different lives of 13 different people, each about to face their own deaths. If he's able to prevent the deaths, he's promised by death to be able to live their life to a ripe old age. And that's what happens to Yijak Cho. God, I probably didn't pronounce that right. Overall, a very unique premise with great art and a very well told story. A tier, 0 doubt. So, I got another question for you. What would your first reaction be if a spaceship with a cute alien girl fell into your backyard? Well, Kate is a pretty chill guy, and he's pretty chill about it, and doesn't think about it with his brain. He thinks about something down there. So his first impulse is to teach her all about Earth because hormones, am I right? Putting that nitpick aside, Down to Earth is wholesome and has really nice art. It has only 59 episodes and is ongoing. The story primarily being about Cade and the alien, whose name I can't pronounce for the life of me. I'll just put it right here for you guys. It's comedic, wholesome. The only thing that stands out is how the author, Hooky Senpai, presents the story. So, yeah. Nothing original, but very sharp and nice. B tier. I've been asking you to imagine committing suicide and finding a cute alien girl in your backyard. But what if I told you you woke up in a Saw-like escape room? I would probably cry. But that's not what our boy Sean thinks. No, he's always thinking rationally. A little too rational, if you ask me. With sociopathic tendencies and a sharp mind, Sean is the only one to save himself and others that have been caught in these complicated death traps. 45 episodes in, and I'm pretty damn invested. The only nitpicks I have are some of the games seem impossible to solve. Maybe I'm an idiot, or maybe author Ten Park is a real genius. Go check it out for yourselves. While I like death traps and escape rooms, the story is still clouded in mystery, so I'm giving it a B tier for now. Note, I haven't started the second season, so please no spoilers. Man, what would I do in an escape room? Now I'm convoluting the ideas of what I would do in there, but I need to move on. Everywhere and Nowhere. Quote, based on 2 of Shakespeare's most beloved supporting characters, Everywhere and Nowhere follows the time-traveling adventures of best friends Anna Guildstern and William Rosencrantz as they explore, fight, and flirt their way through history. Their first stop is ancient Greece, where the pair find themselves at the right hand of a very charismatic Greek leader loved by men and women alike, who also may just be bringing war to the people. End quote. Man, I love it when these briefings are informative enough for you guys. That basically sums it up. I'm not a real fan of time travel. What really brought me here was when I heard one of the 2 artists, Merriweather. He's a cool dude who posts on a variety of different subjects. We will undoubtedly, most definitely, be going more into his works and Canvas. I'm a fan of his stuff. Otherwise, focusing on the webtoon, I can't say it excels in anything. It's just cool. It's a sad thing that I have to give this a C tier. Oh yeah, it's also still ongoing and has 166 episodes. Go check it out. Description to all these webtoons in the link below. Ghost Teller is hard for me to place. Following literal death and a bunch of ghosts, all of them gather around to share stories of the most disgusting and scary things in existence. Humans. Telling stories they gathered from life, somehow, each ghost tells a story. Each has its own meaning, and each could be rated in their own caliber of either A, awesome, or B, just messed up. Overall, the art style is smooth, and the worst story was just less interesting because of the predecessors that I read. Being a complete series with 88 episodes, it gets an A for awesome. Okay, so I gotta admit, ladies and gentlemen, this one's pretty weird. Let's see how well I can explain it. Liz is a normal high schooler until she notices a creepy young dude putting a cat in his mouth outside her apartment. Turns out he's a ghost, and she has been marked by him and made his wife when he smudges his hand on her windowsill. Because of this, Liz can now see all and any ghost in which she was previously unaware of because of normal person vision. Also, ghost wives have more protein or something than normal humans because every ghost is trying to eat her. But her ghost husband is the strongest type of ghost, a mountain ghost apparently. That's all I can say without spoilers. But seriously, it gets into some cool stuff for how wacky it is. Can't talk about anything without spoiling, so I'm just going to give it a B tier. Like Ghost Teller, it's complicated, completed, 134 episodes. Check it out, link in the description below. I'm a Grim Reaper. No, I'm not saying that I'm actually a Grim Reaper. I wish I was, but this is about the webtoon. It's about a girl so horrible that Devil himself would like to give her a job. Having no memory about her past, Scarlet is given a choice by Mr. Satan to be sent to the ninth layer of hell or become the Grim Reaper. She chooses to avoid punishment like a smart person, and now she's on a quest to figure out about her past while filling her quota of the day. One person a day. The art style is nice, and while I'm not a big fan of the series in general, it's definitely something cool to check out. I'm waiting for it to stack up some episodes so I can binge it. I love Graveweaver's take on you doing you and living by those words. She's obviously doing that because she said it in one of her briefings that this is what she wants to do, and she's doing it. I love it. Overall, I give it a solid B tier. Upon making of this ongoing webtoon, it has 65 episodes. Check it out. You may have noticed that a ton of these are going into B tier. Get used to it. I'm saving the S and A's for later. For now, we have Hardcore Leveling Warrior. Following the protagonists of the same name, in this world, people have AirPods that basically let them enter SAO. But the difference is that the side effects of the games are much more serious than you die in the game and you die in real life. But I would rather you dudes find that out for yourself by reading the comic. Now, just a heads up, this is basically one of those shonens in Webtoons. They have a ton of them, or actually a few of them selected, like God of High School. And it has some adult content, but it's generally like really long and seems geared towards young men. And that's completely fine. It's great. At least that's what I think. I could be totally wrong, so don't quote me on it. Overall, the main character is very interesting. Just like Guts from Berserk, I went from hating his guts to beginning to love the main character after understanding his motives and backgrounds. Also, Dark, the duotagonist of the series, is awesome. A ton of characters are awesome. It's awesome. B tier, awesome. It has over 260 episodes. Go check it out. I'm more than confident it could become an A tier or even an S tier by the end game. We told all sorts of apocalyptic scenarios, from the sun turning us into blobs of flesh to good old-fashioned zombies. We've been very creative. Let's give ourselves a pat on the back. But this story, Hive, is in the middle. Not really creative, but good nonetheless. Like, bugs are scary, right? I'm not the only one here that thinks that, right? Like, some bugs are really scary, but Hive puts us into the perspective with making all bugs 100 times bigger than us and making us watch Lee, the main protagonist of this series, attempt to save everyone close to him against the bug apocalypse. What can I say about the series? It has great characters. Lee is your average salary man, and the side characters are ranging from badass to lovable. Lovable as in, man, you were awesome, but doing that is gonna make you die, and I respect you for it in a weird way. Anyways, like I always say, I can't talk about too much without spoilers. Just keep in mind that Lee is your average dude fighting against the worst odds and the worst hand given to him in the scenario. It's an awesome story, A tier, it's already completed. I'm waiting for a sequel, probably will never come, but right now I have 242 episodes to reread, and it's amazing. Okay, let's open the cookie jar now. Not the burn ones, I'm talking about the ones you care and put love into. Hooky, the webtoon equivalent to Avatar: The Last Airbender. So, just to put this into perspective, I love this series so much because of the characters alone. Story, art, sure, they get a plus, but the characters are what you should care about. Not only do you get attached to these characters, but you see them grow in the span of years. They grow up and they face problems their parents couldn't overcome. It's a story about hope, it's a story about friendship, and it's a story about showing that change is possible. It's like The Last Airbender in a sense that I could see it very easily if it were a cartoon or just by how it is now. It could easily be for adults and kids alike. It has some adult themes while keeping that child innocence while still going into dark territory. It's not afraid of doing so. And that's why I'm putting this at S tier, no doubt. One of the things I love most about S tier stories is that I believe they should be able to be viewed by kids and adults alike. So yeah, it has 222 episodes. It's amazing. Check it out. Now I'm going to give a sincere thank you, Mariam Bonastri Tur, for a wonderful story. I'm so sorry that I butchered your name, but sincerely, I thank you for this wonderful story. I Love You is the most generic yet realistic love story I've ever seen. While the plot is pretty straightforward and it feels so grounded in reality that I can still read it without sleeping, so here's a briefing. You is a girl with bad circumstances that needs money for her alcoholic dad. Comes across to two handsome, young, rich men and attempts to work in their company to get the money needed. They love her and shenanigans happen. While it certainly isn't my favorite webtoon, the author clearly put work into it, obviously. I usually stick around for love stories because the characters are really wholesome or something, but this one's just realistic in my opinion. I can't complain about too much. Just cool. A tier. I don't know why either. I myself thought I would put it into B tier, but the voices in my head were screaming A tier. Usually they never win an argument with me, but I let it slide this time. First, I'll give the briefing before I start complaining about this one. Jungle Juice is about a popular, young, handsome dude in his teens. He's a high schooler and he has it all except for one dark secret. He has really rad dragonfly wings under his clothes. Turns out he's not the only one with insect body parts, as some mantis dude tries to eat him. His lady friend is threatened, and he's forced to reveal those totally rad wings to save her. He's then contacted by a girl to join a community of people just like him. That's the short of it. It's a new series and has some seriously cool art and facts about insects I never thought I would know. But it's time to go on to the nitpicking. Why the hell does everyone cast him out for having bug wings? He's still a handsome young dude. If anything, I would want those wings, man. I want to fly. He hides them under his shirt and never indicates it's painful, so I don't see what the problem is. I mean, seriously. Like, one look at these wings after saving the girl, and then out of nowhere, she's like completely terrified of him, even though he looks completely normal. Other than the wings, of course. But, like, it's not like he has some strange, like, multiple eyes or tentacles or anything. No, he's just a dude with wings. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't see why everyone's all scared of him and outcasting him now. I mean, wouldn't everyone want to fly around? I don't know. Maybe that's just my own personal opinion. Maybe I'm the weird one here. But shoving my complaint aside, the story has a ton of potential, and I can definitely see it in the A tier. But for now, it will reside in the C tier, because God, that nitpick is big for me. Now, this next one is a landmine. A real big landmine. I'm sure a lot of people give this story a ton of praise. I, for one, do not. This story revolves around Remy Du, a social media star on the equivalent to Instagram. She finds herself being stalked by a social media serial killer and has to survive his onslaught. That's basically it. Now, before we go any further, I'm basically going to be spoiling a quote-unquote plot twist in the story, so if you don't want to hear it, I suggest you skip to the next one. You good? Okay, let's get into it. So for a majority of the episodes, this nice guy is helping her, and this ugly lean dude is trying to kill her. He's muttering threats, chasing her all over the place, and overall it feels like the author's trying really hard to make us believe that he's a crazy psychopath. But then, out of nowhere, our Young pulls this crap of, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, and it turns out the handsome dude was a serial killer all along, even though we were all expecting it, and the ugly dude was just trying to warn her. It was such a bad twist. Like, I can't stop complaining about it. I stopped reading the webtoon completely. I'll definitely get back to it later, but at this time of recording, it has 43 episodes, it's ongoing, and I stopped at like episode 25 or something. I don't know, whenever the twist was revealed. So yeah. It just finished season 1, and now that I'm finished with the ranting, I'm putting this into D tier. The art's cool, the story was entertaining, but the dumb plot twist and the little development or depth in the characters make this fall short to basically all of the other webtoons on this list. So, let's move on. Love. We all know it. In one form or another, we all know love to some extent. From a small gesture to full-on commitment to another person. It's awesome. This kind of love covers all of the love. From Eros to Agap, this webtoon covers it all. It's amazing. A vast majority of the stories belong in S tier, but because I need to cover all of them into one, this webtoon is put into A tier. It has 43 episodes with all of them containing different stories in sections, like 3 parts. Just like Ghost Teller. If you don't like one of these stories, you'll most likely find at least one that you can enjoy. Unless you're some kind of sourpuss. YouTube. The thing you're watching right now. Video games. They go together a lot. Follow me into a world where we see a story unfold of 2 individuals with their proper supporting cast. Sam Young and Marshall Law are 2 different people. Marshall Law is a YouTuber and Sam Young is a video game developer. When Marshall doesn't understand how to play the game that Sam Young develops, he gives the game a bad rating. This unintentional on Marshall Law's part causes his fans to essentially destroy Sam's chances at ever achieving her dream to become a professional video game developer. This becomes an awkward situation when it turns out that her new neighbor is Marshall Law himself. With the briefing out of the way, Let's Play is the best romance I've read to date. It follows the realism of I Love You and adds anime to it, plus all the quirky stuff, all the shenanigans. It's, in fact, I believe it's already animated. It's amazing. I love YouTube and video games, so yeah, this was a batch made for guys just like me. The characters are grounded and have meaning more than just to forward the plot for the main 2 characters. They also have their side stories as well that still gel very well together with the main story. They feel real, they feel alive. The series, so amazing, I just have to put it straight up to S tier. I might have to just rename this video to Jack talking about his love for webtoons, because I honestly can't stop complimenting this stuff, and it's not going to get any more lax with the well-deserved S tier. Like Wind on a Dry Branch is about Rita Tritis, I can't say her name correctly, a widowed mage who is about to be buried alive with a dead nobleman that requested it in his dying wish. As she's being escorted to her grave, a ruthless outcast prince changes her fate upon chance. I can't go any further into the series because it would be an insult to you guys. No, it would just be a clear insult. You just need to read this poetry yourself. The art is amazing, sure, but that doesn't matter. What really matters is the art of wordplay. It's something to behold. I spent actual money to read ahead the usual updates using coins. This is something I don't usually do often, even for S tiers. But check this one out. It only has 11 episodes, and it's something, man. Am I biased for this one? Perhaps, certainly. Moving on. Live With Yourself is another great webtoon made by the one and only Shen, creator of Bluechair. This one has a more tangible plot than Bluechair, probably because Bluechair doesn't exactly have a tangible plot, and is the younger brother to the aforementioned. It's about a guy named Todd living with 3 versions of himself, 2 from the future and a 3rd from the past. It's weird, it's goofy, it's B tier because I like Bluechair more. It's still cool, just not as cool as the first one. With 254 episodes and still ongoing, it's going someplace, probably to A tier in due time. Ladies and gentlemen, men and women of all ages, please take a bow for the number one in all of Webtoons, Lore Olympus, created by the wonderful Rachel Smith, a wonderful modern retelling of the Taking of Persephone, a classic Greek tale which is beautifully told through the most colorful of colors and the most colorful cast of supporting characters. Now, keep in mind, I'm a huge nerd for Greek mythology. Actually, all mythologies, Norse, everything. But you can imagine my smile as I saw an accurate portrayal of Hades, in my mind at least, in this series. Like, in almost all the Greek tellings, he's never the bad guy. He's the neutral one. He's the one in the background. He's not childish as most of the other gods that do their own shenanigans, like turn people into plants or animals. He only did a few bad things, and honestly, they were very reasonable, at least in the Greek stories that were told in their original tellings. So, yeah, all the characters, for that matter, are very well portrayed. Not just Hades. Persephone is the only one I really have a nitpick on, but it's okay. I mean, she is what she is. I mean, I'm a little like concerned with how she's basically perfect in every sense of the word, in every manner. But now that I think about it, gods are gods, and usually gods most of the time are near perfect, except for their personalities. And Persephone's personality aligns with how her character acts in the comic and in Greek mythology, kind of like Hadestown. Anyways, easy S tier with 147 episodes. It continues to impress me, and I like where it's going. I sincerely thank you, Rachel Smith. Keep it real. We've gone into a topic about love a lot so far. From love of webtoons, kinds of love, to Greek love. But now we're going to head into some demonic inspiration. If you ever need love advice, then all you need to do is what any other normal person would do. Summon a great Duke of Hell. That's exactly what Paul does in this webtoon, where he's just a bro that needs some advice, so he summons another bro to give him that advice for his soul. That last part wasn't a real bro move, but whatever, I digress. While the series is currently on hiatus, Unfins, please spare me if I butchered your name, really knows how to make those sweet, sweet faces. Half of the humor comes solely from the faces, but that's not an insult. It's a craft. I never thought I would laugh so hard from just one panel of a person's face, but here we are. While it does have an interesting story with a twist I honestly wasn't expecting, it actually took me off guard and was good. It focused a little more on the humor, which is all fine and dandy. It gains the status of B tier for bromance. Lumine is about an unlucky werewolf with a maybe cursed witch boy. What could go wrong? The story is wholesome and gritty. Art gets a solid B+, and the story is quite gritty for what appears to be aimed for kids, I think? I'm not actually sure, but it falls into the Avatar thing where I believe adults and kids can enjoy it. The story revolves around Lumine, I can't say his name correctly, Wolf Boy, and Cody's relationship. Strangely enough, though, the series has 116 episodes, and I'm not too quite clear on what the plan for the series is, which I find rather interesting. Not much to say other than that it is B tier. So, now we have Mage and a Demon Queen. Let me just state, there isn't some great moral message or grand plot that I see from the series. It's just two women having a wholesome and spicy relationship. Mallory, a 19 totally legal young woman, is attempting to capture the heart of let me just check this for a second. 100-plus-year-old demon queen Verosa, or Vel, if you want to be simple, like me. The queen is the biggest tsundere I've ever seen since Asuka from Evangelion or Rin from Fate. It's cute, it's wholesome, it's very gay, and that's what makes it awesome. A tier, solely because of the wholesome parts. Just the wholesome parts. A tier. Anyways, Adventures of God. Pretty sure that was supposed to be on the top of the list, but I'm not going to question any further. I'm losing my voice. Adventures of God is a comedy series about religion, and it's honestly just really chill. A lot like Bluechair. It's been around for a hell of a long time. It has 428 episodes, and it's still running since 2016. I'll place it at MicroHunter is pretty neat, as everyone is suffering from turning into micro-size disorder, and our protagonist happens to be the brother of the person who most likely caused this. Everyone affected also seems to be given game-like stats and abilities to help survive the world, because why not? Also, it's now infested with architecture, animals, and obstacles that they used to use in their daily lives that are now bigger than them and can kill them. Like soup! Anyways, the series is definitely interesting, and I would give it a solid B if it wasn't for the constant plot armor that protects certain characters in the series. C tier for now. I'll probably change my mind once I get back into it. I left off at episode 26. Currently, it's at episode 45, still running. I'm sure this will get to A tier given enough time. Mom, I'm Sorry is a story about a 20-something son giving his life force to his dying mother so that she can live the life that she wasted away raising him under horrible circumstances. His mother now looks 21, and her son, Henry, fears that his life will be taken away from him at any moment, as the contract stated, with basically the devil. Overall, the story's interesting. At least the parts with his mother in it. Next to that is random stuff that happens to help conceal the fact about her real age, which I don't really see as a problem. Now, that was the briefing in the series. Now I'm going to go into spoil stuff so I can rant about the stupid stuff this series decided to do. Okay, 3, 2, 1, spoilers starting now, get out of here. For some reason, Henry breaks up with his girlfriend to cause tension with her and his young mom, plot point wise. She believes his young mom, who looks totally different now, is his current girlfriend, which, he was cheating on with. She confronts Henry's mom and basically tells her that Henry is a horrible person. So far, this is pretty reasonable. So far. Then, the mother, for some reason, decides to tell her to hate herself instead, takes a rock nearby, and beats herself in the head with it. Why, I have no idea. The girlfriend reacts like a normal person, takes the rock from her, and then, coincidentally, some friends of Henry come over and believe she's the one that did the crime. The mother doesn't even say that it was her fault. It's stupid, it's unrealistic, it has no other point than to make uncreative drama between the characters. That's what I believe, at least. Stuff like that happens a few times in the series that just made me pause and ask myself, were they really thinking this through? Or do I really want to go through with this? Anyways, with that out of the way, that's why I'm putting it into D tier. You dudes can complain about my judgment in the comments. I know that that's probably going to happen regardless. My Deepest Secret is about a girl and her psychotic boyfriend, like sociopath. Pretty simple, yandere stuff. Murders happen, you get some cool supporting cast, and things go wild. I'm not going to get deep into it because the last episode of the first season disappointed me. So, let's get straight into the spoilers. You know the drill. You gone? Good. Basically, the main female lead, Emma, is a girlfriend of a psychotic sociopath yandere boyfriend. Well, it turns out that the L-like character explains to Emma that she's suffering from split personality disorder and is in fact the psychotic boyfriend as well, and that he never existed except in her head, and in turn, she is also the killer. I was bummed. Sure, it was a twist, but it's a trope I've seen done time and time and time again. At this point, it goes in the same trope category of, it was all a dream. It ticks me off because it's similar to a joke I've heard again and again. It's been done before, and for me personally, it died off a long time ago as a twist, at least. I'm sure if it's someone's first or third time with the twist, they would enjoy it, but it kind of killed me when it was revealed for this well-done webtoon. Overall, I put it straight into C tier. I was originally going to put it into B tier, but this goes to show how one episode can change your opinion of a whole series. Okay, 2B fans, this is for you. Nanolist is about, and I quote, Milo lives in a world where interacting with androids is completely normal, and now he lives with 2 androids built by his sister. How safe is he living with androids who have deadly strength? Why did his sister gift him a bodyguard android? Well, he's about to find out the hard way. End quote. With that out of the way, let me state the series is already completed. It's great. Check it. It gets A+ in all categories, so that makes it an A tier all the way. Nothing to complain about, nothing for me to make it love enough to be S tier, so here we are. Someone once said, gamers don't die. They respawn. My first reaction was, man, that's really stupid and cringy. And I stand by that today. No Scope is about gamers playing a game. Overall, a cool story about an introvert gaining the confidence that he has in the game in real life. Overall, it's a solid B tier because it's weighed down by the constant exposition of teaching game mechanics and game terms to people. They'll be talking about trolls, they'll be talking about, hackers, they'll be talking about rankings, everything for video game stuff that I already know about. Sure, it's not common knowledge to people who don't play video games, but I highly doubt that someone who's not into video games is going to read a webcomic about video games if they're not into video games. C tier. Hey everyone, this is Jack from the future of the already pre-recorded content you've all been listening to up to this point. Just letting you all know that you should check the links in the description below to support the creators and Webtoons. I'll probably have everything organized link-wise by tomorrow, and, all that jazz. I hope you all enjoyed this. Please let me know what you thought in the comments below. This took a lot of effort and time for a dude with zero editing skills, so I hope this was a step forward in the right direction. But anywho, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, you do you. I'll see you all in the next video, but until then, stay tuned.